The story of the spark. There was once a young man named Daniel who carried 1,000 dreams in his heart. He wanted to write a book that would inspire people. He wanted to run a marathon, learn to play guitar, and build a career that mattered. Every night, lying in bed, he saw himself as the person he could become: strong, creative, admired. And yet, when the morning came, the fire he had felt turned into smoke. Instead of writing, Daniel scrolled endlessly through his phone. Instead of running, he told himself he would start tomorrow. Instead of practicing chords, he found excuses about being too tired. His ambition was alive, but his actions were asleep. And soon, he began to believe a cruel lie whispered by his own mind: maybe you're just lazy. But one day, while feeling trapped in the cycle of guilt and procrastination, Daniel stumbled across a simple truth. People are not lazy by nature. The problem is not the dream itself, but how the brain sees the dream. When a goal feels too big, the brain reacts with fear and resistance. It avoids pain by chasing comfort. Watching a video, eating junk food, or doing nothing feels safer than facing the mountain of effort. And then, Daniel realized something powerful. The key was not to force himself with sheer willpower, but to make the mountain smaller. That night, he sat at his desk. The idea of writing a whole book still felt impossible. So he gave himself a different task: just write one sentence. It was so small that his brain could not resist. He wrote one line, then another. Before he knew it, he had a paragraph. That was the first crack in the wall of procrastination. Encouraged, he looked for other ways to outsmart his excuses. He learned to prepare his environment instead of relying on fragile willpower. If he wanted to run, he left his shoes at the side of the bed. If he wanted to read, he placed a book on his pillow so he couldn't miss it. He created tiny rituals that made action easier than avoidance. Soon, it felt less like fighting himself, and more like following a gentle path already laid out. Still, the hardest part was always starting, and that was when Daniel discovered the 2-minute rule. Instead of promising to practice guitar for an hour, he only committed to strumming for 2 minutes. Instead of cleaning the whole room, he promised to clean one corner. 2 minutes was so short, so harmless, that his brain didn't argue. And once he started, momentum carried him forward. 2 minutes turned into 20, 20 into 60. The simple act of beginning created energy he thought he never had. Of course, there were days he failed. Some mornings he ignored his shoes and stayed in bed. Some nights he closed the book and scrolled through his phone again. But this time, he treated failure differently. Instead of condemning himself, he whispered, "This is part of the journey. Falling is not the opposite of success. It is the price of growth." And the next day, he tried again. Weeks passed. Daniel did not become perfect, but he became consistent. His single sentences turned into pages. His short runs became miles. His hesitant chords turned into music. Most importantly, he began to trust himself again. The man who once doubted his ability now saw progress with his own eyes. One evening, as he finished writing a chapter of his book, Daniel smiled. He realized greatness is never built in a day. It is built in minutes, 2 minutes at a time. It is not about heroic bursts of effort, but about humble, repeated steps. A spark, when protected and fed, becomes a flame, and a flame, when nurtured, becomes a fire that no storm can put out. So if you too feel ambitious but tired, full of dreams but short of energy, remember Daniel's story. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Shrink the mountain. Take one small step. Create a habit that carries you forward. Start with just 2 minutes, because success is not about doing everything today. It is about doing something today and then doing it again tomorrow. The fire you are searching for is already inside you. All it takes is a spark.